You can be in the shot if you want. All right, welcome back to the channel. My daughter, who lives in Colorado, drove home to the St. Louis area here for Christmas. And she's got a couple of small issues that we're going to take care of on her 2000 Toyota 4Runner. We got an ABS sensor issue to deal with. Not sure which tire that is. She needs a new set of headlights and maybe an oxygen sensor. So we'll be looking at a couple things in this video. So stay tuned. So in here, there's a little connector you just pull off. This boot is actually over the top of it, so you pull the connector off first, and then you pull this boot off, and then we can get to the headlight itself, the bulb. It's pretty straightforward and simple. Push this in, pull it up, and then the spring-loaded clip comes out, and you pull your old bulb out. All right, when this goes back in, it goes in this orientation. You can see the 3 tabs on the bulb. You obviously don't want to touch the glass at all. The oils from your fingers can cause these things to burn up prematurely. So the tabs fit in slots that are in the housing down there, and then that spring clip goes back on the way it came off. Amateur YouTubers. There we go. Regulars and brights. Loose.
Which way? Down or
Up. Pull up, or you can rotate it around and turn it down.
Can I?
Yeah, can you? You're the one that works out all the time.
I don't know how heavy a tire is.
What?
I don't know how heavy
It's probably 50, 60 pounds. All right, got the wheel off. On this 2000, I've seen a couple different pictures online of various Gen 3 4Runners, and it seems like the position of the ABS sensor moves a little bit. So this is front passenger, and it's on the back side of the spindle. The wire goes up across the top of the upper control arm, and then behind here is a connector. So we're gonna pull this connector off, and with a meter we're gonna look, from what I understand, for between 1 and 2,000 ohms. If it's outside of that range, then this sensor is probably bad. If it's good, then we'll move on to the next tire and we'll look for one of these that is out of range.
Okay, so
All right, we're getting 1,600 on this one. So that's between 1 and 2,000. It should mean the sensor's good on this wheel. So we'll move on to the other 3 and look for the bad sensor. On the driver's side, and actually probably on the passenger side as well, instead of having to pull the tire off, you can actually get to this connector right here now that we've done the passenger side. So we're going to try and get to it from the top instead of taking the wheel off, just to cut a little bit out of the process. So we'll pull this connector apart. I'll probably actually pull this 12 millimeter bolt out just to pull the bracket out and make it a little bit easier to get to the pins on that.
Dad, that's not facing you.
Yeah.
He was just like filming the kitchen and like the inside of the garage and like looking at his phone.
I was trying to figure out, like, where am I on the shot? Oh yeah, it's going the wrong way. Okay, we checked the sensors on all four corners. The front two sensors read out at basically right at 1600 ohms, and the back two right at 1200 ohms. So those were within range. It's interesting that both two front ones were 1600, the rear 1200, but either way, those seem to be all right. In troubleshooting the ABS light further, we found that in the fuse box, there is a 60 amp ABS fuse, and it's blown. Now the housing came out separate from the fuse material, and there's actually a bolt. Let's see if I can point to it here. Holding, yeah, there we go. This bolt right here actually goes through the pins that hold this fuse in. So we're gonna have to disconnect the negative side of the battery and then pull that bolt out, and then we can replace this fuse. After getting the first lug out on this side, I realized it's a separate lug for the other pole of that fuse, and you actually have to pull this full fuse box out. So 3 10 millimeters, one there, and then one there, and then one on, it's hard to see, there it is. And then this whole fuse box is loose, so we can turn it over and get to the bottom of the side of that fuse box and pull the other bolt out. Are you laughing in the shot?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? You can't have fun while you're doing cars?
You're gonna get seasick.
Who are they gonna see?
You're seeing so much sick. That.
Definitely not stable.
That was a pretty stable one.
Just spread your cheeks with your hand.
All those fart noises you heard in the video are coming from this guy's butt
No
cheeks.
way you're including that.
Okay, I was wrong. It's not the 3 bolts. There are, let me see if I can get this here. There are little tabs that, there's 4 of them, basically one on each corner. And this center section of this fuse block pulls out of the base. So that's how you get to the bottom of that. So got the bolts pulled out, and we'll get a new fuse thrown in there. Next, we're gonna address the check engine light that's on. Here's a screenshot of that code. This car is from Colorado. Interestingly, it's a 420 code. So read into that what you will. But it's a catalytic system code. So the best way to troubleshoot it at this point is just to throw a $30 sensor in there. So I picked up the downstream O2 sensor behind the catalytic converter, and we're going to toss that in and just drive it some and hope that that doesn't come back after I clear the codes. So that's what we'll do next. A little plastic detent that you push in and the connector will come apart.
That. Maybe a little bit too snug moving my body. How much snugger?
That's probably good. All right, with everything plugged back in, no more ABS light, no more check engine light. So we'll give it a little bit of driving just to make sure that O2 sensor is good and that check engine light stays off, but I'm expecting it to be good. You want to be in the shot?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, that's going to do it for this one. Fixed a few issues while she's been home for Christmas, so she's good to take it on a road trip back to Colorado. It's been great having her home. For anyone, you know, that has older children that have moved away, it's always good when they come home and you get to visit some. So this video will probably be coming out sometime right around the new year. So happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Next one is